We are inside of the Mac. I'm going to go ahead and launch Premiere Pro, and I'm going to create a new project. We're going to be creating a slideshow, but first we need to create stills. Do you guys remember how to create still images from movie clips? We did that. Anybody have notes from last semester? Anyone? Okay, so we'll go through this workflow. Make sure that you can find some images to use, okay? Some movie clips on your computer. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to name this project Slideshow Project 1. Perfect. And then you guys should save that by clicking the Browse button, navigate to the thought space, and save that to your folder you just created, okay? If you're just joining us, we're just opening up Premiere Pro. We're creating a new project, and we're saving it as Slideshow Project 1. Make sure that you navigate to your thought space and save it to that new folder you just created. Perfect. When you click OK, we're always conscious of the preset. What size of sequence are we using? Basically, this matches the size of the footage that you shot. So we're always going to be using the DV-NTSC widescreen 48 kilohertz for 99% of the things that we do. So if you want to write that down somewhere, have that handy, by all means do so. Any questions so far, you guys, before we go ahead? At the bottom it says sequence 1. You may want to get away from this generic naming by giving your sequence some types of name. I'm going to call it slideshow. Okay, excellent. I'll click enter or OK. And here's the interface. Let's see what the handout talks about now. It talks about importing clips that you used from last semester. These must be movie files that you shot with the camera. So, how do we import stuff in Premiere Pro? I'll simply double click to open up the import dialog box. And then you guys are going to go to your thaw space, fall 2012, and find some clips. I'm going to type in .mts and see what I find on my computer. Something should be on here. So I'm going to navigate and find some files. I'm sure I have something inside of my Spring Show 12 segments. Clips to use. Perfect. So you're going to find these MTS files, but you're going to need files that you've shot from the camera, whether it be a bully clip or some type of say no to drugs or a football clip, any of the clips that you can find. And remember, you can use clips from other people's folders. So once you find a few clips or maybe a folder that contains multiple clips, select it or the folder and simply import those clips. You can see I've chosen to import a folder called clips to use that contains 4 clips. So it looks like it's 2 gloving clips, and there's other 2 clips about what movies you saw or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to actually create a few stills. I think I'll start with the gloving clip that I have. And again, you guys probably have different media. I'm probably sure you do. It doesn't matter what media you have as long as you have something, okay? How do we make this still? You guys remember the workflow involved with creating the still image from this? Okay, I'll go through it quickly for us. To create the still, I'm simply going to load any clip into the source monitor. I'll load Ivan Hernandez. Say for instance I want to make a still image at 1302 or whatever time code I'd like to make a still. I think there's somewhere he's pointing his finger. Alright, let's see, what's this clip? Okay, here's Cain Espinoza. Let me go back to this clip. Okay, right here, bam, he points his finger like 7:15. This is perfect. Make a little clip right here, still image. So to do that, all I simply have to do is reference the time code, 7:15. I'll go up to File, Export Media. When the export setting dialog box opens, for whatever reason it's not marking my time code. Probably because the clip isn't in the timeline. So it's not referencing the time code. But it's at 7:15. So what I can do is I can move this yellow playhead to 7:15. Or I can scrub. Or I can type in the value. So now that I have my playhead where I want the still to be created, it's all about the format. Remember the format we talked about, TIFF files, or still image, and then always the NTSC TIFF widescreen. That's it. You guys are going to click the output name, and that prompts you to save it. I've created a folder called images inside of my ThoughSpace. Inside of my name, I've created a folder called Slideshow Project 1. I've also created a folder called images, so that all of my images are here. In the event 2 months from now I need to reload this slideshow, everything will be in the place it should be. So name your stuff, you guys. Set up this naming convention so that you can find your files. Okay, images, I'll call this still 3. Notice I'm setting up some type of naming convention so that the stills are in order. I can reference them a little bit easier. Still 3, perfect, I'll save it. Last but not least, I'm going to click the export button to export this. At the bottom there's an export button. You guys are going to click to export that out. On the Windows or on CS4, the media encoder opens. So right now you guys are going to see the media encoder. And all you have to do is simply start the queue. Okay, so to verify that the still has been created, you can minimize Premiere Pro, navigate to your ThoughSpace, to your folder, and take a look and see if you've saved it to the images folder. And there's still 3 TIFF. Don't worry, right now it's a little squashed, but that's okay. Once I pop it into the timeline, it's going to be perfect. So I've created 3 stills so far. You guys can now go back and create, I think you're going to need at least 20 to 25. So you can load any of the media that you want. To import those stills, I'm going to double click. Find that folder that contains the still images, and I'll import it. When I want to use it, I can simply drag and drop it to my timeline. And there's my first still image. You can see it's fitting perfectly into that timeline area with just a few crop issues. Crop boxes over here. But that's perfect. So go ahead and create your still images using any of the footage that you have. We're going to be taking a look at keyframing inside of the effects control panel. Just as a review, we'll be taking a look at creating lower thirds in After Effects, just as a review, so that we can get on good shape and have a good little foundation before we begin. You guys have any questions about what's required with project number 1? Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions with creating the stills. I'll come around and help you. If you need some help finding some footage, let me know. Again, I'll do that once again. I'll load any clip into the source monitor. With the source monitor active, File, Export Media. From there, I can move my yellow playhead to wherever I want the still to be created. Perfect. Make sure it's set to TIFF. Make sure the preset is NTSC TIFF widescreen. I'll click the output name still 4. I'll save it. I'll export it. For whatever reason you guys may see the media encoder, you guys are going to have to start the queue. Okay, any questions? When I'm done, I'll double click and I'll import the still. And now that's still number 2. I can now drag and drop this to my timeline because I now have 2 stills. If you have music, then you want to give me the music that you want to use so that I can begin to download the music. Remember, the music is instrumental only. So now I have 2 still images. So super easy. It's just repetition. Let me know if you guys have any questions.